Welcome to All right, everyone. That should be better. Sorry about that. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Who do we got in chat tonight? We got Nancy's here tonight. You know it's going to be trouble now. Nancy shows up. We got Carolyn here tonight. Good to see you, Carolyn. Glad you was able to make it. All right. So, Sharon Guy's in the house tonight. My allergies have been bothering me, guys. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. It's February and my nose itches and I sneeze and sneeze. I have no idea what's going on. Hey, Keith, good to see you. Glad you was able to make it. Good to see you, Lanita. All right. Got just a few announcements to make tonight before we jump into this story. A lot of y'all's been asking about not Silver Bullet. Golly. Got so many things going on here. A lot of y'all's been asking about Randy. And I wanted everybody to know that I have spoke to Randy. Randy has not left the show. In fact, he said to send his love to everybody tonight. He just has some personal family things that he's taking care of, but he does plan on returning back to the show as soon as he gets all that done. I have been in constant contact with Randy. All the rumors about Randy has left and so forth and yada, yada, yada. That's all it is rumors. You all should know this community by now that if you hear it going around, it's probably not true. But yeah, Randy and I have been in contact. We're always in contact. We love Randy. I love Randy. And he is coming back. He has not left the show. So Randy will be coming back. But I wanted to get that out there to everybody. He also said that he sends his love and that he misses everybody. So he just has a lot going on in his personal family right now. And as always, I tell people, take care of your family before the show. Tomorrow night we have a boots on the ground planned, so we're going to be doing a boots on the ground tomorrow night. Let me go ahead and bring Amanda in as I'm doing this to make sure she's good and everything's going good. She was having a little trouble coming in. Amanda, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool.
You are good to go.
Awesome. Hi, everybody in chat.
I was telling everybody we got a boots on the ground plan tomorrow. And then I'm working on some things and trying to get the okay. And if I can get the okay and everything's good to go, coming up here in just a few weeks, we may be doing a collaboration in the field. It's come to a point to where I need to go and collaborate in the field to let you all know and to see someone else be able to experience what I'm experiencing in the field. So we are working on a collaboration, and I figure you all would be very, very happy to hear that. Tomorrow, I got Amanda busy again tomorrow. We're going to be recording with Mr. John for the part 2.
Yes. Excited about that.
Yeah, he's very excited. I spoke to him today, and he's like, yeah, we're going to go even deeper than what we went the first time. So it should be pretty deep conversation.
Okay.
Then I have another Patreon that we're working on. And this Patreon is going to be about the darkness around the world and the darkness in the community and the changes that my channel is going to be making. So there's some changes on the way coming. The last but not least, everybody welcome Blue Biddy in. She's going to be moderating tonight. She's our newest moderator. So welcome to the chat, Blue Biddy, and thank you for moderating tonight.
Welcome, Blue Biddy. Welcome to the family.
So, Amanda.
Yes.
Are you ready for tonight?
I'm ready. I've got a little bit of a headache, but I'm ready.
Uh-oh. Did you take you something for your headache yet?
I did. Yeah, I took it before.
Those things suck.
Yeah, they do.
I hate headaches. So, has your theory on werewolves changed?
No.
No?
Nope.
Gary Carpenter says, what do I mean by the darkness? Well, Gary, that's a real good question. The darkness that I'm talking about and that I'm going to go into is he asked me a question that's going to start this off really good. Yes, Randy is coming back. Absolutely. I love Randy. Me and Randy are like brothers. I talk to him all the time. And just because you all don't see us talking to somebody on here doesn't mean we're not in contact, okay? There's a lot of talking that goes on behind the scenes. Don't listen to the gossip. How do I say this, Amanda? The darkness in the community that I'm okay. Let me throw this out there and hopefully we have a lot of big names that we allow. And I want your all's opinion in the chat on this because I really do love your feedback. Your feedback means a lot to me. But I've spoke to some other channels that support me. We've had this conversation and we all stand in agreement with this. When I talk about the darkness in the community. So we have a lot of channels and names that we allow to dictate the community. They are the ones that seem like they have all the power, right? If you're not friends with them, you're not in the in club.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is that also means that you have to agree the way they agree, right? Or what do they try to do? They try to tear you down. I personally do not believe you can have a true investigative mind and a true opinion if you're following large groups just because they have control. A lot of these large groups that have this control serve the darkness. And what I say about that is they are very vocal about it. So if you're in contact with the group that's coming out saying that the Anunnaki created you, that's blasphemy. That's taking creation away from God. That is almost the exact definition of blasphemy. You know, if you follow that and then you are associated by that, like, you know, Jesus talked about, you're not supposed to associate with those things that cause you to sin, then it pulls you into that. I would rather work on my channel and break away from the big names, given the power to the channels and to this genre or this community, if you will. From now on, I'm not going to look at myself as part of a community. A community is, by definition, a group of people that have the same ideas. I don't have the same ideas as most of those. As most of those say that the Anunnaki created us, or their thoughts are that they are self-confessed vampires and stuff like that. I don't want to be on that side of the investigative material. I want to bring light to the community. I want to bring God's word to the community, and I want to expose these creatures for what they are and not glorify them, okay? Because whenever we have people, large names that are running this community, and you follow that, you're giving it place. I
Yep.
don't want to do that, right? I want to show it for what it is. I don't want to be able to say, oh, that's my friend, you know, he's a self-confessed vampire. Okay, so what you're telling me is that you're friends with darkness?
Yeah.
That's not the route that I want to go. So that's kind of what that's going to be over, guys, but a lot deeper. I do not want to be in the darkness, and I don't want to be associated with those that are associated with the ones in the darkness. Hey, Scared Silly, hope you're able to see me tonight. It should be clear. And I hope that we can get away from this darkness and expose it for what for what it truly is. You know, that's my plan, and that's the direction, and we will go a lot deeper as we go into that. So there's that. There's a photo up on the screen tonight, guys, of what we're going to be talking about. That right there is the Mr. Werewolf himself we're going to be talking about tonight, Gilles Garnier. So as you can see right there, he has a child in his mouth, and you will see in a little bit why that is so important. Exactly, Keith, exactly. But you would be surprised, Keith, that the people that do, and they believe that if you're not in those groups, then you're a liar and, everything else. So that's why I'm taking my channel a different way. I'm going to be doing some collaboration, and I'm going to get some people out in the field that can experience what I'm experiencing, and we're going to call it out for what it is. That's, I think, the best way to do it. We'll try to get Amanda up here from California and let her go out here and get her a taste of it.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah. Boots on the ground. You want some boots on the ground, Amanda?
I would love to. If I didn't live so far, I would be there in a minute.
In a minute? If you lived a minute away.
Exactly. If I lived in Oklahoma, I would do boots on the ground with you all the time.
Well, unfortunately, you're over 3,000 miles away?
Yes.
We'll find a way, though. If you ever wanted to, we'll find a way. We can make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, so let me pull this photo down right here so we can get into tonight. Everybody does not like our photos being little. Is that better, everybody? Do you like that better?
That's a big photo.
There's the big photos. I got me some apple juice and Sprite tonight, so we're ready. Boy, I tell you what, this stuff's really starting to change my opinion on werewolves, though, the more I've been digging into this.
Really?
What?
I said, really?
Surprised me. Oh, I was talking to Mom. I'm sorry. She was yelling at me. So, tonight, Amanda, is another documented werewolf.
Encounter.
Yeah, Gilles Garnier. So, I guess we will go ahead and jump into this and see where it takes us. So, it says the fact that Gilles Garnier was not a werewolf who happened to rule over the Dole Fruit Company. They were being kind of funny there. But they said it's actually a small town in France in the small province. At some point during the early 1570s and late 1560s, Garnier lived outside Dole as a hermit and was eventually married. In the isolated area, he was not used to providing for more people than himself. After a while, children from the town began disappearing, or worse, they were being discovered, mutilated, and dissected.
Yuck.
So these things are very, 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 yeah. They don't care for sure. So the provincial law authorities and officials believed it was a werewolf. This thing being in the 16th century and all, the issue and the that is a weird word. We're going to skip that. The citizens wanted to hunt down the werewolf. A group of men from a town near Dole discovered that what they thought was a werewolf hunched over a child's body. As they got closer, they realized it was a hermit, Garnier, and captured him. At the trial, Garnier confessed and told the court that a ghost or a demon visited him and gave him the ointment so that he would be able to transform into a wolf, making it easier for him to hunt. Now, if you remember, in the case that we just done of the Peter Stubbe case, he had a belt. And remember the Michael Verdon werewolf pack? They had salves and ointments. So I thought it was pretty interesting that this guy now says that he has an ointment that allows him to transform into a werewolf.
Yeah.
That's not the first time we're hearing about this.
No.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting, really interesting. Yeah, Gary. Yeah, they all seem to uh, say they have had interactions with Satan or demons, or a pact was made, or there's always something of that nature.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, you know, what about all these makeup companies? What are they putting in their makeup that women are rubbing on, you know?
Yeah, who knows?
Then Garnier then told the court of his murders. He said that he had killed 2 girls and 2 boys, eating their flesh where they fell after strangling them, and in some instances, bringing home pieces of them for his wife, despite Garnier's attempt to shift the blame to the devil and repent by confessing his interaction with a demon. It was either an attempt to gain favor, or the man was completely insane. He was found guilty of lycanthropy and witchcraft. The court then sentenced him to death by burning at the stake. Uh, you notice he says he made a pact, or he was led by a demon. And if you go back again to the Michael Verdon werewolf pact that we had discussed, he and his 2 other friends, remember, they made a pact with the 3 black horsemen.
Yep.
So it seems like there's a lot of people always end up showing up, or at least one evil entity,
Yep.
to make a pact with you. They're going to make a deal with you, Amanda.
No, thank you.
They want to make a deal. Born in the early 16th century, possibly in or around Lyon, little is known of his early years, but he likely hailed from a modest background, perhaps as a laborer or a peasant. Now, I noticed in a lot of these werewolf documentations and documentaries and stuff, it really doesn't seem to matter the background that these werewolves come from. Some come from peasants, some come from high class. It really doesn't seem to matter. It seems like anyone can really be a werewolf. So, described in records as gaunt, with a haggard face, deep-set eyes, and matted beard, Garnier's appearance fueled local distrust. His hermitage, a crude dwelling in the forest's outskirts, was far from him living in a bustling town of Dole. Yet he frequently clashed with neighbors over trespassing on their lands to hunt and to gather wood. So, I also noticed in a lot of these, it seems that the alleged suspects are always set apart from the normal people in town. Have you noticed that, how they kind of live?
Yeah, on the outskirts of town.
Yeah, or they're standoffish. They're
Yeah.
not like real popular in town, or
Yeah.
a lot of people, probably don't know them. Or
Yep.
I've also noticed that they seem to clash with people in their communities, but I would think they wouldn't want to. You would think they would want to be lower key to where they're not found. But it seems like a lot of them are not real friendly, and they have run-ins a lot with the town people.
Yeah.
I honestly would like to know what nights he was found out hunting and gathering wood, what the moon phase was, but there's probably
Yeah, that would be cool to know.
probably no way to ever find that out.
Probably not.
The London, Ohio case, remember what we done? The man named George. They said that he had the sunken eyes and he was a hermit and kind of lived off by himself also. So there's a lot of similarities whenever you start looking at these cases that are truly documented. These cases around the 15th, 16th century, different towns, different parts of the world, but yet you're finding similarities that seem to corroborate each case. If you have somebody on one side of the world, somebody on the other side of the world, and they say they see something and they describe it and the actions pretty much the same and they corroborate it, then there's a good chance that what they're seeing is really happening. So the more I looked into this, the more I was like, there has to be something going on, because so far, what we have found is, that's right, Tammy, they are the more the loner types. So far, also what I think that we have distinguished also in this is we have found that they have a pattern. And when you investigate, patterns are a very important thing. And I think the pattern that we're finding right now is they seem to be hermits. They have a little bit of a different look about them. Not necessarily that werewolf, they're a werewolf, but they have the sunken eyes. They just have that look about them that just makes people say, there's something off about that guy. Or that guy's evil. That guy don't,
Yeah.
he looks mean, Or another thing that I've noticed is they seem to have a lot of conflict with the people that live around them. Have you noticed that? They don't seem to get along with people really, really well.
Yep.
And I would think it would be the opposite, wouldn't you? I mean, if I was a werewolf, would I want to be fighting with people in a town?
No.
I don't think I would either. You know, I would want people not to be arguing with me and not to have their eyes on me.
Exactly.
I would want to hide. uh,
Be
so
inconspicuous.
yeah, especially if you're going around eating people, right? You don't want people, looking at you. But it also says that these disputes, combined with his reclusive nature, earned him the moniker Hermit of St. Bonnot. Some villagers whispered that his sudden demeanor hid a darker temperament, a suspicion that would later seem prophetic. So it sounds like everybody was kind of blaming him anyways, or at least they were suspicious of him. There was something about him that really caught people's attention. It makes you wonder, how many people, though, makes you wonder, like, how many people like that really do live among us? I mean, you live in California, you have a really high population there.
Yeah.
How many weirdos live around you, right?
Lots. Lots of them.
So you do have lots of weirdos?
Yes.
Well, there you go. So Garnier's life before his crimes, it remains obscure, but local lore suggests he was once a wanderer, possibly fleeing debts of minor crimes. In Lyon, his marriage to, I believe her name is Apolline, marked a turning point, anchoring him to a region, but also straining his meager resources. So, if you notice, a lot of these werewolves or alleged werewolves, people, they don't have a lot of family backgrounds, or there's little known about their background, where they come from, or, this guy, he was such and such his son or such and such his daughter.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of that. Is it because they truly are werewolves and they're keeping low key, or is it because he has outlived his family?
Maybe both.
Thank you for that, Tammy. God bless you for that.
Hi, Lisa Ann.
Another thing that I was wondering, if he was married to this lady, how would she not know that he was a werewolf? Do you think he was able really to hide that from her and her not know? Do you think that that's possible, or do you think she knew?
I think she knew.
I think that there would have to be something that would tell her that. But another thing, though, that's really weird to me is if he married her, doesn't that show that these creatures also possess the capability of love and compassion?
Yes.
I thought that was interesting that they could actually express love and compassion. So His financial and social pressure, coupled with his outsider status, may have contributed to the psychological unraveling that led to these horrific acts. So, right now, what they're trying to do is what they always do in these investigations: is they're trying to twist it around to try to have an explanation for his actions, something that people can digest, something that people can agree with, because they never want to put out what it could actually be. Uh, I don't agree with him being an outsider caused him to do these horrible things. I think that he probably had a past long before he started doing these things. That's my
Yeah.
opinion on, you know.
Yeah, he probably did.
Uh, the story about him pretty much was he done a lot of brutality and terror unfolding into the French between 1572 and 1573. So he was really active mostly around a year. During this period, Garnier committed a series of savage murders targeting children. Acts were so gruesome that they sparked widespread panic and cemented his inferiority as a werewolf of Dole. Below is a detailed account of his life, crimes, and events leading to his capture. So, even whenever he would go out, children were his target. Children seem to always be the target of this darkness that we talk about. And when I talk about wanting to bring out the darkness, that is one of the things. Children are always, always targeted in darkness. Billy Graham speaks about that. Numerous other evangelists, preachers, they speak about the darkness and how the darkness seeks the children. Look at Roseanne Barr's interview, right? What did she say with the files that are now being released right now? All that going on in the news. What was they after, Amanda? What was they always after?
The children.
Always.
They're always after the children.
So very evil stuff. Again, Garnier's origins are shrouded in a mystery with no definitive records of his birth, upbringing. Contemporary accounts suggest that he was born in Lyon region, possibly a rural village where he worked as a laborer or a tenant or a farmer. By the 1560s, he had drifted into the French area, a region marked by dense forests, rolling hills, and small farming communities. His decision to live as a hermit near St. Bonnot, a forested area between Amange and Dole, reflected a desire for solitude, perhaps driven by social rejection or personal grievances. My thing is, whenever I heard that, is, do they actually know that they're monsters? And the reason I ask that, and I'm going to shoot this to you, Amanda, and see what you think, but do they seek to be recluse because they know they're monsters? Because if we look at the Ohio London case of George, he had the steel room with the chains where it looked like he chained himself up for a short period of time to maybe save other people. Do you think that they live like that because they know they're a monster? Or do you think they just choose to live solitude because of what they are?
I think they choose to live solitude because of what they are, but also to keep out of like the public's eye as much as they can. So if they're a recluse and they're out away from the town, people don't see them as often.
Right. Gary, the reason I believe that children would be targeted by a werewolf is I believe that all these things are connected. I believe that you have the spider in the middle of the web, which is Lucifer. That web branches out into so many different things. And no matter where you go in that spider web, they are all still connected. Because, I mean, even if we go back, and the way that I believe and the way I look at it is the Nephilim, the Watchers, the fallen. They're an opposite spider web, right? You had God in the middle of that. God was their creator. And then they were the Watchers, and then they were the fallen, and then here come the Nephilim, and then here come the Eliod. We had the War of the Seed. We had the DNA that was corrupted to try to stop, my belief, the birth of our Savior, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They tried to stop all of that. And I believe whenever you look at it, it all goes back to the innocence of a child. Because if you look at it like this, so the Nephilim, the fallen angels, they know that there is no redemption for them. They even asked, is there redemption for us? And the answer given back to them was, not for you nor any of your generations. So whenever they look at a child, these creatures, or even at us, humanity, whenever they look at us, their thoughts are, you know what? That's a slap in the face, They can stumble, they can fall, they can, speak against God. They can do all of these atrocities. But God loved them so much that he sent his son that died on the cross for them. And all they have to do is turn to God and ask for forgiveness, and they're forgiven. And they get a chance at heaven. They get to go to heaven. But no matter how good they are, they'll never have that, because when God sent his son and Jesus died on the cross, his blood did not cover them. It covered us, but he did not cover them. And they know that. So now, if they're the most innocent thing, and that is the love of Christ as a child, right? It's better to tie a millstone around your neck than to cause one of his, little ones to stumble. And, he speaks so much protection over children, how important children are to him. The adversary, to be as evil as he is, would use the innocent children to be able to slap God, Jesus, in the face. So all the evil, I believe, is connected, and it all tries to pervert the word of God. And whenever you try to pervert the word of God, you're inherently evil when you're doing that, for sure. And you're committing blasphemy whenever you take away, creation from Jesus. And then, but us as humans, we have the ability to go to our Father and say, Father, forgive me, for I have sinned. And we're forgiven through the blood of Christ. But he did not cover them. So this is why I warned so many people. Scott Carpenter warned so many people, do not go out and search for these things. Do not go out and look for these things. I mean, there is a lot of people out there that allege and say that they've had conversations with these things, that they're nice, and, maybe they are. Maybe. And I'm not going to say there. I'm going to say maybe.
Yeah, we don't know.
But, right. But you have to have in the back of your mind, this is what I think about. And y'all let me know what you think about. As a Christian, if you're a Christian, Jesus said that they are not redeemable. Not them or any of their generation. So if Jesus says they're not good enough, why would we trust them?
Exactly.
And one more thing is, I'm going to do another Patreon eventually, and I think y'all's going to like this, but I do believe that I have now found how the Nephilim survived the flood. And we'll work on that. Yeah, I think I have a good hypothesis on that, a good theory, and we'll discuss that later.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa. That's right, Blue Biddy. They're deceptors. Absolutely. So, after burying his wife, Apolline, Garnier faced mounting pressure to provide for his family. The region's economy, strained by wars and poor harvest, offered little respite for a man of his means. Locals noted his frequent forages into the woods, where he hunted small game or scavenged, often ignoring property boundaries, and he started stealing people's chickens and rabbits and such out of their pens. These trespasses led to heated disputes with farmers, and they viewed him as a nuisance. Despite these tensions, Garnier remained a peripheral figure into his crimes, thrust him into the spotlight. So this dude is out rummaging through your stuff at night, and
not being hidden at all.
Right. Gary, yes, the Nephilim, but also look at the Iliad. Look into the Iliad. The Iliad is also the descendants of the Nephilim, which would still carry that lineage and would still have that corrupted DNA, which I believe is what we're dealing with today. So, between the fall of 1572 and November 1573, Garnier was responsible for at least 4 confirmed murders with a possible 5th victim. All were children between the ages of 9 and 13.
Jeez.
His attacks, marked by extreme violence and cannibalism, were concentrated in the rural areas around Dole, particularly near, here we go, another French word, Chatenoy, Autun, and Prusse. You know, I would think if he was eating kids, how did his wife not know?
She knew.
You think she did?
Yes.
You think she was a werewolf? Or do you think she just knew what he was doing?
I don't. That's a hard one. I think that she knew what he was doing, but who knows? She might have been a werewolf too herself.
I would think she would have to know something was going on, surely.
Yeah.
You know, Carolyn says she thinks she knew. I would think, Carolyn, it would be really hard to hide that. Um, I don't know how you would. I mean, if you're out munching on people at night, Lisa says she would have had to have known,
Yeah.
or at least know something was up, right?
Yeah.
Gary
She knew.
says, she kept everything to herself. Could be she might have been afraid. Yeah, she might have been afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
You
True.
know, I think so too. Sharon says she believes it. She knew he was in on it. I apologize for my allergies, guys. We are in the cedar fever deal that's going around, and it has been kicking my butt. So I apologize again. So the following, uh, the following details, guys, that are coming up. If you have any children in the room, you're probably going to want to remove them as we're going to go into the deeper, darker part of the case. Again, I feel it's important to be able to uh, look at everything in these cases. I don't want to leave anything out. Uh, you know, thank you for that, Sunshine. God bless you for that. But
Thank you, Sunshine.
I hear you, Sharon. Uh, mine's running faster than I can eat it right now. So, his first murder was between September and October 1572. It was around the feast of St. Michael, September 29th. Garnier abducted a girl aged 10 to 12 near the Gorge Farm and Chatenois, a village north of Dole. He dragged her into the forest, where he strangled her with his bare hands. There, he stripped her body, consumed her flesh from her thighs and arms, tore off portions of her to bring home. Appeline later testified that Garnier shared the flesh with her, but he told her that it was game meat. So what do you think?
I think. I think she knew.
But she's trying to say that they told her it was game meat.
Yeah. I don't believe her.
Right. C.S. Anderson, so good to see you, man. Glad you was able to make it. She tried to blame it on. I didn't know what I was eating. But if you notice in a lot of these cases, the arms seem to be targeted.
Yeah.
Is the reason the arms are targeted is that's what people use to defend themselves with is our arms.
Maybe.
So, you know, you take out the arms and then you don't have to worry about, somebody defending themselves as much.
Well, if you strangle them, you don't have to worry about them fighting back at all.
Right. And I think that a lot of them do go for the neck at first. I think that's why we don't hear uh, screaming and people fighting for their lives, because they're unable to.
Yeah.
The girl's remains were discovered days later by a farmer, Jean Marc, who reported the mutilation to the local authorities. Lanita, thank you so very much for that. God bless you for that. Uh, he said that she was shredded in the forest. He said it was like something just opened up her stomach and removed all of her innards. It removed all of her organs.
Yuck.
So again, there's another pattern, is the missing organs.
Yep.
They always go, it seems like, for the organs. The second attack happened early November 1572, on or around All Saints' Day, 1st of November. Garnier attacked another girl approximately 10 years old in the meadow of Les Pupilles between Authume and Chatenoise. He ambushed her at dusk, biting her throat out and clawing her abdomen. Villagers, alerted by her screams, interrupted the assault, and Garnier fled into the woods.
Oh, so he was caught in the act.
Yeah, he went for the throat. Absolutely. And it reminds me of the case here in Oklahoma with the McNeilis case, more than the throat was removed, but definitely the throat was attacked. So even though they interrupted his attack, it said the girl was gravely injured. She was carried to her family but died within a few days. Witnesses, including a shepherd named Pierre, described seeing, now this is where you get your pattern again, a wolf-like figure that was bipedal that resembled Garnier in the fading light. So this is another person that is corroborating, as same as our other stories, and these are not just stories, guys, these are documented history accounts. And all of these have a witness that witnesses a creature that is not totally human. So you're building a pattern here of a lot of people seeing something that is not human. So what are they seeing, Amanda?
They're seeing a werewolf is what they're seeing.
I mean,
They just don't know what they're seeing.
right. So what are your thoughts right now? Are people turning into werewolves, or do you believe these creatures are always a creature and they're just seeing it and they're blaming it on this guy? He's getting the rap for it, or what are these starting to make you wonder?
I'm starting to think that they are turning into werewolf with the ointment or whatever, the salve, whatever they use. I think they are turning into a werewolf. So they're not a werewolf all the time. So my mind has changed.
Especially whenever you look at real documented history, to where you have people corroborating, saying, "Hey, I saw this creature." Yeah, it looked a little bit of like Garnier or Peter Stubbe or Michael Verdon, and they say, but he was like a lycanthrope, also. So
Yeah.
even if you look at the photo that depicts it, look at this photo right here. I want to bring your all's attention to this real quick. You see that photo? If you notice,
like a werewolf.
well, he looks like a werewolf, but he also looks like a crazy shaggy man. But there's one thing I want to bring your all's attention to. Look at his right hand that's on the ground. Can you all see that?
Yeah, it's claws, right?
It's a wolf claw.
Yeah.
It's not a human hand.
Yeah.
So if you notice, is he in the middle of the transformation right there?
Maybe.
And that, of course, is an illustration of what somebody said that they had seen. But I think it's important. So the third murder happened in mid-November 1572, about 2 weeks after St. Michael's Feast. Garnier targeted a 10-year-old boy in a vineyard between Gredisons and Bonnot, south of Dole. He overpowered the boy, strangling him before cannibalizing his thighs and belly again. Garnier tore off the boy's left leg, wrapped it in a cloth, and took it home. He fed it to his wife, which she said that she thought that it was just some game that he was out hunting. I don't buy that right now. I'm sorry.
He brought home the leg and she
The
didn't
whole,
notice. Yeah.
the whole left leg.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, she's still saying, "Well, I thought it was just game that he was out hunting. You know, it was rabbit or squirrel or deer."
Yeah.
Uh, Again, you're getting the same pattern. Look at what was her name? Amy? Was that no Amber? Amber Hearst. Remember what happened to her? Both of her arms were almost removed. You had Brenda
Yep.
Hamilton. Her arms were almost removed.
Yep.
You have a pattern of attacks, a pattern of the same way that they attack. And not only are we patterning this, for like recently, these patterns are going back to the 15th and 16th century that are patterning what's happening now. So that's even crazier.
That is crazy.
It's like they have the same MO, right? They attack the same way almost every time, and they go for the same thing: the stomach, the innards. But what else does that? Predators, werewolves, coyotes, they all go for the stomach also. So it's like they're in this beast mode, right? When they attack, they are a beast.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, the body was found by a group of people who noted deep bite marks and missing flesh. The discovery heightened the local fears, with some whispering of a loup-garou prowling the region. That's where Louisiana got the name for their werewolf that they have, is actually from what happened back here in the 15th and 16th century. The body was found with the deep bite marks. They said deeper than what a human or any known animal could do, with larger teeth than anything known in the area. So, yeah, I can see why people were starting to get scared. I mean,
yeah, me too.
You start finding people with their arms ripped off, legs ripped off, and their innards removed.
Yeah, you would think it would be a wolf or a big cat or something, not a human being.
And like Tammy said, a human leg looks different. I would think so too, Tammy.
Yeah, exactly.
And for her to say, I didn't know. I was just eating it. It was, just food. The fourth murder happened August of 1573 on a Friday before the feast of St. Bartholomew. You notice all these happen around saints? Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Garnier attacked a boy 12 to 13 years in age in a wooded area between Prusse and Cromery. He bit through the boy's torso. He bit through his stomach, guys, nearly severing it. You tell me that a normal man can do that. No way.
Yeah, right.
And he ripped open his abdomen, consuming parts of his intestines while the child was alive. The boy's body was found by a hunter named Claude, was so mangled that the identification took days. No human can attack another body and do that much damage to where they're comparing this to a bear attack or a wolf attack using just their own hands. For him to bite through the abdomen and be able to do that, there is no way that a normal man is going to be able to do that. That is supernatural power. That is, he's got to have the strength of his jaws, his hands, his arms to just shred a body that way. Another weird thing is this attack actually occurred in broad daylight, and it then intensified the calls for action from the villagers. The villagers were really, really worried now because, hey, this just happened in broad daylight. I mean, wow. Can you imagine?
No.
Yeah, like what Sunshine said. How does a normal man rip an arm or a leg off? You can't. I mean, I don't believe you could do that.
I don't think so either.
Uh, so the fifth murder, this is the one that got him captured. November 1573, on or about the 8th of November, Garnier assaulted a 9-year-old girl near Chattanooga, strangling her in the vineyard. A group of laborers, including a man named, Gilliam, spotted him crouching over the body, initially mistaking him for a wolf due to his disdeveled appearance and the blood on his hands. When they approached, Garnier fled, but the girl's injuries proved fatal days later. She had had her whole stomach bitten apart and ripped open. The incident, witnessed by multiple people, led to Garnier's identification and arrest. These multiple people were high people in the community, along with regular people in the community, that all said that Garnier was not completely himself whenever they witnessed him doing this, that he appeared to be part wolf.
Yep.
Wow. There you go.
There we go.
There's your witnesses. Again, corroborating the same thing that we have heard from the other ones.
Yep.
And that, yeah, I agree, Tammy. It's so much different than the regular attacks, because these do not follow animal attacks. To me, they don't even look like an animal attack.
No, they don't. They're something completely different.
Yeah, Michelle, definitely a possession. Is that Herbert? Hey, good to see you, Herbert. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing good. It's so good to see you in chat tonight. Guys, Herbert's back. Everybody tell Herbert hello. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So good to see you, Herbert. But yeah, I just don't see a human having that kind of strength.
Nope.
So the first murder, discovered in early October, it sent shockwaves through the community. Jean-Marc, the farmer who found the girl's remains, alerted the local magistrate, Henry Bouguet, who initially attributed the attack to wild animals. See, that's where I get frustrated. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
What wild animal do you know that does it like that?
None.
And then when you have witnesses that have said, hey, we saw this guy doing it, Jack. It wasn't dogs. We saw the guy doing it. Now, he looked a little wolfish. Something was off about him, but this wasn't a normal wolf. And when he got done doing what he was doing, he even took takeout with him. He took part of it home. This is not a wolf. This is not a wolf. Absolutely, Herbert. Good to see you. That frustrates me. Sorry, but animals are always blamed, and the reason I get mad about that, how many good dogs have been euthanized because they want to blame an animal? That's what bothers me.
Too many.
Yeah. Now, it also says, however, the bite marks and missing flesh raised suspicions of human involvement. By November, after the second and third attacks, rumors of werewolves began to spread through the region. A deep-rooted folklore was about to begin. So, these stories that we hear about werewolves, and I'm going to say other creatures and other cryptids, are not things that were just set around and made up.
Nope.
As you can see, these stories that we're looking at right now are documented historical accounts that we know happened. We know that there was witnesses. We know that they all did not live together. We know that they all corroborate each other. We know that there is a pattern in the way that there is attacks. We know that cannibalism is a huge factor. We know that the organs and the stomach is huge. We know that the arms have been attacked and removed, and other body parts being removed is good. And this doesn't only link things from the 15th, 16th century. This is all patterned up until recently, up until now. So you have a huge amount of events that are happening back that far ago. Now, that would lead an investigator to the belief that, wow, do these things live that long? Is that why we're seeing those things today? And my answer for that would be absolutely, because I believe that all of these things are connected to the supernatural, to the fallen angels, to the Nephilim, to the Iliad. That's what you're looking at, guys. What did Jesus say? There is nothing new under the sun. It's all still here. The evil is still here. You're seeing it every day. The Anunnaki is our creator. And look at the people that fall into that darkness, right?
Yeah.
It's happening every day. And you know what? You can try to destroy people that try to show the light, but you know what? There's one thing that I learned as an investigator that you cannot destroy, folks. You cannot destroy facts. And what you're looking at right now is documented facts. The Parliament of Dole, the region's highest court, issued an arrest warrant in the late 1572 for a werewolf. Tell me that's not interesting. You have now an arrest warrant issued by a government entity stating that there's an arrest warrant for a werewolf, urging villagers to hunt the perpetrator, described as the wolf or the wolf man, was actually on the warrant.
Wow.
Don't the Bible warn us about wolves? Aren't we supposed to be warned of the wolf? Because you're right. If we read in the Bible, the wolf is not the good thing. The wolf is what we're supposed to watch out for. Rewards were offered for information, and patrols were organized in the Autun and Paris areas. These efforts yielded little until November 1573, when Garnier's final attack was witnessed. The laborer's testimony, combined with the earlier sightings, pointed directly to the hermit, whose hermitage was searched, revealing blood-stained clothing and bones later identified as human. So don't tell me his wife didn't know. When this guy's got bloody clothes laying all over the house and human bones in the house, there is no way she did not know.
She was just trying to save her own butt.
Right. That's right, Tammy. Facts speak truth. Sharon, I'm sure she knew the difference in the type of meat it was. I would think so, too. I mean, I have heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, but, I've always heard that human meat is supposed to taste like pork, and that's what a lot of people compare it to, is the taste of pork. So I don't know if that's true, but I have read that in several different places. Have you heard anything like that, Amanda? Have you ever looked up what does human meat taste like?
Nope, I can't say that I have.
Have you not wondered?
No, I have not wondered.
Have you not just seen somebody walking down the street? You just want to take a bite out of them, or have some of that prime rib.
No.
So the hunt for the werewolf of Dole was a chaotic and it was fear-driven effort. Villagers armed with pitchforks, muskets, and dogs scoured the forest, guiding the local trackers like Etienne, a woodsman familiar with the St. Bonnot area. Clergy, including Father Michael of Dole's cathedral, preached sermons warning of demonic forces, urging repentance to ward off the beast. People are praying and now protecting their homes spiritually, which I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
The hunt culminated in Garnier's capture after November 1573 attack, when Gullimer and his companions chased him to the edge of Amange, where he was apprehended by the militia led by Captain Jean-Louis. Gilles Garnier's werewolf trial would be one that would captivate audiences, historians, and law professors for decades. Does that not sound weird to you guys that law professors would still be using this for decades, a werewolf story?
Yeah.
See, that's where it starts making me believe things, because why would lawyers be using this if there was nothing to it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something here. So, uh, Gilles Garnier's trial was held in Dole in the late 1573 was a dramatic spectacle that gripped the French region. Conducted by a secular parliament of Dole rather than the Catholic Inquisition, it reflected the complex interplay of legal, religious, and superstitious beliefs in the 16th century in Europe. Now, the capture. Garnier was arrested on or around November 8, 1573, shortly after his attack on the 9-year-old girl. The laborers who witnessed the assault pursued him to the outskirts of Amange, where a militia led by Captain Jean Louis apprehended him. Blood-stained and disheveled, Garnier offered no resistance but muttered incoherently about, here's the weird part, a spirit guiding his actions, and that the devil had told him to do it. He was bound and taken to Dole's prison, a stone fortress in the town center, where he was held in the damp, windowless cell. The interrogation would then take place. The interrogation began within days, overseen by Henry Baguette, a renowned jurist known for treatises on witchcraft. Garnier initially denied the charges, claiming he was a simple hunter. It's funny, he didn't deny it when they first caught him, did he?
Nope.
First thing he said was, the devil told me to do it.
Yeah.
Under torture, likely involving a strappado, hoisting his arms and heated irons, he confessed to the murders and to the transforming into a werewolf. Now, a lot of people are going to argue that and say that he only done that because the torture that was being done, that he done it. But honestly, I don't believe that, because when he was first captured, he admitted to it right off.
Exactly.
So that kind of blows that defense for me.
Yep.
He again claimed that a specter encountered while hunting in the Sierra Forest had given him a magical ointment that established his metamorphosis. The confession, recorded by a scribe named Antoine, aligned with the prevailing beliefs about satanic pacts, and a lot of children had mentioned seeing the devil walking in the woods as a part goat, part man.
Wow.
So there was already something. It's already something in those woods, and he had ran onto it. Man, it really makes you wonder what's out there, don't it?
Yep.
Garnier's account included vivid details. He described prowling the woods as a wolf driven by a insatiable hunger for human flesh. He admitted to 4 confirmed murders and hinted at others, though no additional victims were conclusively linked. Apolline, his wife, was questioned separately. She denied knowledge of the cannibalism, but confirmed Garnier brought home meat he claimed was game. Her testimony, possibly given under duress, implicated her as an accessory. Though she was not formally charged and never admitted, to knowing of any of the murders. So the trial commenced in December 1573 and was then presided over the Parliament's Chief Justice, Claude Tavernier. Over 50 witnesses testified, including victims' families, laborers who caught Garnier, and villagers who claimed to have seen him in both human and light form. So 50 witnesses in this one account, guys. 50 witnesses.
That's a
seen
lot of
this
witnesses.
Man and seen him part man, part wolf. They saw a werewolf. 50 people. That's not counting the Peter Stabé, the Michael Verdon, not the other cases that had also witnesses, outside witnesses, guys. This is corroboration at the very minimal of a creature. The very minimal of a creature. So there you go. I mean, so anyways, key testimony came from Gilliam, who described, listen to this, Garnier's feral appearance during the November attack, and Pierre the shepherd, who saw the wolf-like figure in Le Papé. They said that he appeared to be a wolf man. That's what
Yeah.
they testified to.
And that's what he was.
I absolutely agree. The prosecution led by Begay raised and Garnier was a loup garou, which is now Louisiana. There you go, Sharon. That's what you got. Something that came all the way from France. And there's a lot of French people in Louisiana.
Yes,
A
sir.
man transformed by demonic forces. They decided his Friday attack is evidence of blasphemy, as Catholics were expected to abstain from meat on Fridays. Garnier's confession, though coerced, was the centerpiece of the case. The prosecutors reading out loud the packed courtroom, no defense was provided as he said he was guilty of being a wolf man. He's not even denying it. He didn't even fight it. He was later found guilty as a servant of Satan whose crimes defied human nature. The following day, January 18th, 1574, Garnier was led to a public square in Dole where a pyre had been erected. Bound to a stake, he was surrounded by straw and wood, which were set alight before the crowd of hundreds. Contemporary accounts note that Garnier screamed as the flames consumed him, though some claimed he cursed the crowd, reinforcing his demonic image. His ashes were scattered to prevent any posthumous rituals, a common practice of witchcraft to be able to bring back the dead and also to harvest the energy. His wife, Apolline, was then erected and burnt at the stake also for good measures.
Dang.
There you go. Yeah.
But she was in on it too, so.
Yeah, I don't believe that she was this innocent person.
I don't either.
There's no way she was this innocent person. She had to know what was going on. I mean,
yeah.
Right. So, do you all want me, after I do these investigations that are on Patreon, would you like me to share these to Patreon, my pages of investigations where you all can go read them yourself? If y'all would like me to do that, that might be something we could look into. Some people had mentioned it. But I think that's a really crazy account.
Yeah.
There's a pattern there. And we're going to be looking at some more of these actual documented accounts. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow night we're Boots on the Ground at 8 o'clock. I know a lot of people have been waiting on that. We are going to be Boots on the Ground tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We will be back Boots on the Ground. I'm glad we're talking about that. Do you guys like 8 o'clock, or would you rather I do it at 8:30 p.m.? 8 or 8:30, guys. Give me an 8 or 8:30 in the chat. I've been looking at 8:30 here lately. I think so too, Herbert. I would agree. I definitely would agree. And just so you know, Amanda, Herbert is very, very smart about these things because Herbert is a retired judge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I love having him in here for his thoughts and opinions because I really take those to heart. And thank you again, Herbert, for being here tonight. We've truly missed you.
Yeah, thanks, Herbert.
So what do y'all think? 8 or 8:30? I see at 8 o'clock by Mindy Weeks. Mindy says, give me an 8. Amanda, would you like to tell anybody about anything or what's going on with you or anything? Would you like to shout out somebody?
No, I would like to say hi to everyone in chat and let them all know that I love them all. That they're all awesome.
We have the greatest. We have the greatest people.
We do.
We truly do.
Yep, I believe that too.
Sunshine says 8:30. A lot of people saying 8:30.
8:30 it is.
A lot of people saying 8. What time would that be? 8? What 8? 6:30 for you, Amanda?
Yeah, 6:30. Yep.
Wow. You're in that California time.
Yeah. California time.
You're what, two hours behind me?
Yep.
8:30. I put the East Coast at what, 8:30, 9:30. So should be pretty good. I think we'd be all right if we tried 8:30.
8:30 it is.
I guess we'll try 8:30 tomorrow night. I'll have to switch that. Well, we'll probably go ahead and do 8 o'clock tomorrow, and then Friday night we'll do 8:30. Since I've already got it set for 8, we'll stay with that. So Friday at 8:30, guys. I am going back to the place where I was assaulted Friday night. So we will be going back there. at 8:30 Friday night. That will be a good one. I have no doubt. And tomorrow night, I'm sure will be good too. There always something happens usually, so we can usually count on that.
Yep.
All right, everybody. That's pretty much all I've got tonight. Amanda, would you like to say anything before we end this show? Any
Just good night
closed?
to everyone, and thanks for watching.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your support as always. God bless each and every one of you. I hope we see you tonight on the Boots on the Ground. As always, we love you guys. Don't forget, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, because something may be packing your leg home tonight if you don't pay attention. So until next time, guys, be blessed. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Amanda, for being here.